content presented in this podcast is based on real events and may contain graphic descriptions of violence, sensitive topics, and explicit language that may be triggering, offensive, or sensitive subjects to some viewers and listeners. Discretion is advised. The purpose of this podcast is to explore and discuss true crime cases for entertainment and educational purposes only. This podcast does not intend to glorify or sensationalize crime, but rather aims to analyze and understand the complexities of human behavior in the criminal justice system. We encourage listeners to approach this content with empathy, critical thinking, respect for the victims and their families.
Live tonight on Mysteries, Mayhem Merlot, a Florida man proves once again that meth and mass transit are a terrible mix. Hijacking and sightseeing a train like it's Polar Express from hell. Meanwhile, a freshly minted 167 million Powerball winner turns out to be a career criminal who spends more time behind bars than most bartenders. And just when you thought dating life was bad, the infamous Tinder Swindler finally swipes left on freedom and Interpol catches up with him in Georgia, the country. So it's time for some crime, it's chaos, it's comedy, and yes, it is all real. So join me tonight with Dave Schrader. Grab your glass of wine. And because this week's headlines prove you can't make this crap up, it's time to start the show. Let's hit it. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Mysteries, Mayhem, and Merlot. I am your host, Winnie Schrader. Well, tonight I wanted to have some fun because lately the news has just been so dire, so dreadful, and just so sad that I just wanted to have, well, granted, I mean, these stories are still crime, but at least we can make fun of these criminals. So I wanted to have my better half, Dave Schrader, on with me to have this fun, because that's what we like to do. We like to laugh together. So welcome to the show, honey.
Well, thank you very much for having me. And boy, after your introduction, I couldn't wait to glab myself a grass.
Oh my gosh, my allergies are so bad. It like all of a sudden I'm like all goopy. I'm like, why does my nose have to do this right before showtime?
Yeah, it's allergies, all right, folks. Lots of allergies.
No.
Many allergies.
We had my fun this weekend, trust me. We had a blast at your 40th high school reunion.
My fourth high school reunion.
Fourth?
Yeah, let's go with fourth. 40th sounds like I'm so old.
No, you're not. And you want to know what? Everyone there acted like they just got out of high school. We had a lot of fun, and it was great meeting like your friends that you grew up with. It's really cool to look back. But so we're going to have some fun with some crime stories. Like I said, the news has just been awful. So I wanted to have some fun this week, and we are actually live for once. So you have the first story up. So why don't you have fun with this one, Dave?
First of all, anytime I can tell a story regarding true crime and bologna sandwiches, count me in. Exactly. Somewhere in Florida, where the humidity fries brains faster than bacon, police are reporting that an ex-con is behind bars without bond after allegedly turning a bologna sandwich. That's right. That's how they spell it. Bologna, B-O-L-O-G-N-A. He turned a bologna sandwich into a felony weapon. Good God. Yes, you heard that right. Aquavius Chandler, age 29, apparently decided his stepdad's chest was the perfect landing pad for an Oscar Mayer airstrike. The saga between Chandler's stepdad, a 62-year-old man who clearly wasn't ready for PlayStation battle mode at 2 a.m., confiscated the prized PS5 from Chandler's bedroom because he was just being too damn loud. Now cue the tantrum from a 29-year-old man. Instead of sulking like a normal adult gamer, Chandler allegedly responded with the only ammo he had on hand, a bologna sandwich. A true crime of passion and processed meat, of course. Now, according to police, Chandler threw the bologna sandwich at him, striking him right in the center of his chest. Critical wound. Thankfully, the victim survived the deli assault with no visible injuries, though probably a little mayo on his shirt. I was thinking maybe he was a little mustard out after that. Anyway, he filmed it because if your stepson attacks you with cold cuts, you damn well better get it on video. Cops say Chandler, already on probation, later confessed to the meat toss inside his Wildwood residence. Would that be a slap witch? Is that what he hit him with, a slap witch?
I guess so.
Yeah. Now, while this would be usually a misdemeanor, prosecutors escalated it to a felony. Not because the sandwich was particularly deadly, but because Chandler already had a rap sheet longer than the Subway footlong he couldn't afford. This isn't Chandler's first violent run-in. I gotta stop and keep laughing at this. This isn't his first violent run-in. This wasn't a violent run-in. He threw a sandwich at a man's chest. How much damage did that do? And do we need to involve the police? Now, it'd be one thing if he pulled out a knife and he's like, I'm going to cut you, old man. But he didn't. He just, in frustration, threw his bologna sandwich at his stepdad's chest. Again, I understand career criminal. This may not be worth taking any further. And the stepdad, I don't know, maybe he's been worried about being assaulted with bologna before, but this is bizarre to me that it's been escalated this far. They say it wasn't his first violent run-in involving games and family members. Now, this part, right? Tell me the difference. Let's go back in time 2 years to 2023, where he physically choked his sister during a fight that stemmed from, you guessed it, video games. In 2022, he pulled a knife on a 60-year-old man and shoved his sister to the ground after getting mad at, wait for it, video games again.
No way.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. I'm no Sherlock Holmes, but I'm starting to see this whole thing come together in one cold cut way. Now, honestly, someone just needs to get this man a fidget spinner because got to give him something to distract the mind. I'm saying in this before he levels up to a lasagna-based attack. Because I don't know, he's regressing. First, it was choking somebody. That's a physical. Another one's I pulled a knife. This one's I threw a salami or a bologna sandwich at somebody. Next time, is it he throws the napkin on the floor like a gauntlet and challenges somebody?
Maybe it's a 12-step program. He's
slowly coming off the curb. Oh my God. Believe it or not, he is sitting in county lockup. Guess how much his bond is for assault with a sandwichy weapon?
Is it 2 for 8?
No.
No. $1,500.
No bond. This guy is considered dangerous in the world of sandwiches. This man, you can't have him out because it starts with a bologna sandwich. Next thing you know, your eyes are knocked out with a couple of meatballs from Subway. This has so many places it can go, and it's dangerous. He's locked up without bond, facing fresh charges for a probation violation. The judge has ordered him to stay away from his stepdad. I would say before that, Your Honor, I would order him to stay away from his video games and sandwiches, knives, and his sister. Those would be the first things I would say he should stay away from. But they want him to stay away from his stepdad, which, given the circumstances, I guess is a bit of a relief. Moral of the story. Here we go, folks. Pull in close because here's the moral from your old Uncle Dave. In Florida, you can go to prison for meat slapping your stepdad with a sandwich. Yes, I heard that as I said it, but only if you just got priors. Otherwise, it's just a normal Tuesday lunch in Florida. Yeah.
What what is he going to say when people ask him, what are you in for?
You don't even want to know, right? Obviously he's going to have to say something, and then he's got to be really careful, right? Because he's like, if he takes a sip of water at the wrong time, what are you in for? I was beating somebody with my bologna sandwich. That could come off really poorly if that timing is just not right. So I think, yeah, I don't know what exactly you say in that instance. I mean, do you really, you start looking around, you go, dude, the coldest cuts are cold cuts. Just be aware of that. At any given time, I could break out of this thing. You give me a roll of salami, I don't know, maybe some Gouda cheese to wedge in the door frame. I will be out of here, and I'm coming for you next.
I mean, honestly, who throws a sandwich?
All right, so here's the deal. If you don't mind, back in the day when I was practicing law under my imaginary umbrella, as Dave Schrader, defense attorney at law, I would like to turn it around and become the paranormal prosecutor in this case, because I wonder now if, as a concerned citizen, can I begin turning in everybody on the TikToks and Instagram that has cheesed their child? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Have you seen? Or if you haven't seen it, what they do is they take out those little squares of American cheese, and like the baby will be like, and all of a sudden it hits them in the forehead, and then they just kind of freeze, and you see that slab of cheese. Sometimes it starts slipping down into the eye, and you've got like a, you know, I don't know, a prosciutto pirate on your hand. But I don't understand that. To me, that you're abusing a child. You're whipping a cheese slice at their head.
I don't know.
We need to buckle down, America. No more sandwich violence. Sandwiches don't slap people. People slap people with sandwiches. Think about it. But
that's
seriously,
right.
I'm going to just start reporting every cheese attack. I'm going to be huge on the socials, because I'm going to be like the defender of America. I'm coming for you, cheese abusers. If I see you slap a child with a cheese slice or your dog, oh my God, that's the other thing, right? How about all the videos of poor cats just drinking their water, and some jackass comes and puts a large cucumber behind the cat, and the cat just turns around and jumps and practically has all 8 lives scared out of them. Isn't that animal abuse? Isn't that a form of torture?
I don't know, because I don't even know why a cat would react that way, because our cats have shoes behind them. They have
but
never
none of those look
out.
like a snake. Maybe it's this inherent thing that this long green thing behind them, or maybe they did prison time.
Well, they do have a long snaky thing behind them. It's called their tail.
Yeah, no, that's no, I'm just saying, you know, maybe it's like they turn around, there's a big green thing on the floor, and it's, you know, that's enough. I don't know. I mean, who am I? I have overreacted to dust bunnies from time to time. So there's no shame in the game.
Yeah. Well, who knows? I guess the moral of the story is just don't throw food at people.
Oh, I'm coming for you, cheese abusers. Coming for you.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I got the next story.
Okay.
Of course, all these stories will be in Florida. So we do have another Florida man well, let's just say on August 15th, 2025, only in Florida does someone get upset at a lawnmower and respond by donning a full jester costume, brandishing a dagger like they're auditioning for Game of Thrones Suburban Edition. According to cops, 51-year-old Anthony Marzola confronted landscaper Brian Hansen in St. Petersburg, Florida, after Hansen dared to mow 2 separate lawns on Marzola's street. How dare he? Apparently, the hum of the lawnmower was enough to summon Marzola's inner medieval court entertainer and his 12-inch dagger. Investigators say Marzola advanced toward Hansen, shouting that the mowing must stop, while the landscaper bravely placed the stand on the mower as a shield. Oh my God. I'm getting a visual. Witnesses reported seeing a middle-aged man in pointy shoes and bells yelling at a man in khakis and ear
Wait, why are you
protection.
laughing about that? What was he supposed to wear? He was a court jester.
I'm getting a visual, David. Just
You
let me
should.
laugh.
This man should be committed for being so committed.
Well, he was yelling at the man wearing khakis and ear protection, so he probably didn't even hear him at first. But a scene that could have only been more absurd if Marzola had pulled out juggling pins instead of blades. That would have been awesome. If he started juggling while yelling at the guy, I would have been there with my popcorn, just solely entertained. But Officer Jonathan Goodman of St. Petersburg PD noted that Marzola was still in full jester attire at the time of his arrest. No one knows if this was cosplay, a midlife crisis, or simply the uniform of someone who runs a shop called Psychedelic Jester. Marzola was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, of course. Now, this is a weapon, a dagger. Now, which it is a felony, and he is booked in county lockup. Now, his bond was set for $15,000, and a judge ordered him to stay away from poor Ben Hansen, whose lawn will likely never be mowed in peace again. So, moral of the story in Florida, your neighborhood might come at you in bells and in tights with a dagger if you dare make a little noise. And maybe never underestimate the power of the jester with a grudge. So what do you think of that one, Dave?
Yeah, that's, listen, you know how easily irritable I am when it comes to certain noises, specifically your crunching. So I could understand going to jail for hearing that noise. I don't think I'd attack you as a jester with a 12-inch dagger. But maybe this next story sounds a little bit more like the kind of assault you could expect from me at any given time. Because
yes,
you thought I was done with food?
Done with food stories. Never.
I'm not done with food stories. Are you ready for this, America and listeners around the world? This is a kosher carry. Oh my God, words is hard. Even on other people's show. It is a kosher Karen moment as a Florida woman goes full Oscar Mayer lunatic on the neighborhood. Now, if you thought your HOA and the disputes that you have with them were petty, allow us to introduce you to Marcia Morgan, age 48, who decided to settle her beef with a neighbor's parking job by wrapping their car in toilet paper, which, while juvenile, becomes significantly funnier when you learn she was dressed as a giant hot dog at the time. That's right. A hot dog. At 4 p.m. on August 22nd, 2025, somewhere, Jimmy Buffett must have got a new verse for Margaritaville, except for he's been dead for a year. Nice article here. According to police, Morgan was several shots past tipsy, and somewhere in the realm of screw it, let's start cosplay as lunch meat, she allegedly refused to cooperate when officers tried to question her, which, let's be honest, is hard to take seriously when your perp is in a bun suit. Imagine yelling, "I know my rights," while mustard and ketchup stripes flap dramatically in the Florida breeze. He was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. By Tuesday, Morgan pleaded no contest, which in Florida probably translates to, "Yeah, I was hammered in a wiener suit. What of it?" The court smacked her with a $550 fine, though she can work it off at $13 an hour in community service. That's roughly 42 hours of sober hot dogging for the city. Unfortunately, and they should make her do that, like cleaning the sides of the highway dressed in her wiener costume.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the police report doesn't answer the burning question, why the hell was she dressed as a hot dog in the first place? Midlife crisis? Lost bet? Kinky role play gone sideways? A kosher Karen, perhaps? We just may never know. What we do know, somewhere in St. Pete, a neighbor is still scraping Charmin off their car, muttering, "Only in Florida."
What would you do if you like went outside and saw somebody in a hot dog costume vandalizing your car?
You're asking the wrong guy because I would probably knock them down and eat them. I love hot dogs.
You know what I mean? Like what?
This reminds me, there was a story about maybe 5-6 years ago where a couple were fighting over how to cook a hot dog. And the wife, listen, I'm just as upset by this as everybody listening right now, okay? She thought microwaving hot dog was the best way to cook it for her man. When in fact, we all know boiling is the only way to serve a hot dog, or putting it out on the barbecue, a little broil action. But microwaving, it gets all like 3D bumpy and like blistery. It looks like you're about to eat somebody's third-degree burned toe. So I'll have none of that microwave nonsense. I want to boil it. I want to boil it good. But he got so mad in the trying to make the point that she wouldn't listen that he withdrew the hot dog and began smacking her on the forehead with it. Which again will sound bitching when you're in prison explaining why you're there. I was whacking my wife with my wiener right between her eyes. Out of context, it sounds much cooler than it probably really was.
Yeah, it does.
And I remember having a debate about, well, you can't now a hot dog's. How can you be assaulted by a hot dog? Obviously, we just found out you can be assaulted by a bologna sandwich. And I won't stand for bologna. You won't, you know. You won't stand for bologna. But I was like, okay, listen, I kind of get your point. You're thinking, who on God's green earth would be afraid of being struck by a wiener? Maybe some of you are thinking these. A simple cocktail wiener, right? I mean, yeah, right. This is just going to bounce right off you. It's like bullets off of Superman. But if it pleases the court, and even if it doesn't, I would like to submit the ultimate hot dog weapon should you ever find yourself in need of battle. Welcome to the Nathan's mega size hot dog. I don't know if you can see how huge this thing is, but it is monstrous. And I'll tell you what, if I start smacking, and don't make me come in there and do it to prove it, Winnie, but I will. Don't make me come smack you between the eyes with my wiener, because this is a monster wiener. And I get listen, I don't know if you can hear this, okay? Because I've got very high filters and a wiener filter on my microphone. But I want you to just hear how it would sound if I was angry and I struck you with this wiener. Are you ready? Do you hear how hard and loud that is? Wiener's not even affected. My palm is disgusted and wants to go home, but the wiener, all it needs is a little boiling, and then what's up, Doc? That's all I'm saying.
Stop abusing the wiener, man.
It wouldn't be. You're lucky
How
I don't
did you get props?
You're because some of us come prepared when we're a guest on other people's show. And when I realized there was a wiener assault, I wanted to show something for it. But yeah, that guy did hard time. That guy did hard time, and they got along. They were a loving couple, and she went full on Oscar Mayer Karen and had him put away. I think he did like 18 months for slapping her in the forehead with a hot dog.
That's crazy.
Now
that's
listen, I don't want a bunch of angry emails. I obviously do not advocate that kind of abuse, because why ruin a good hot dog? Just, the Lord gave us Pringles for that, right? Just flick a Pringle at your loved one from a distance. You can always claim it slipped out of your hand. But when you whack somebody with a wiener,
or if I'm eating, it's probably just pillage coming from my mouth as I crunch away, right?
This is a remarkable wine. I don't even know. This isn't Merlot. I don't know what you had in there. It was in a brown paper bag, and I poured something called Mad Dog 2020. I don't know.
Yeah, it was my 40 ounce. What did you drink that for? That ain't mine.
Yeah, that's right. So far, I come at you with a bologna sandwich, as men are wont to do. Yeah. And I just showed you what it'd be like to get smacked with my wiener. What have you got?
Well, this one, and this one you would not have a problem with, but Obviously this guy cannot, his voice doesn't carry like yours does. But on March 17th of this year, he must have got stage fright, especially when he had some drunk courage, because this Florida man got so mad about the broken karaoke machine that he started waving a weapon around in the auditorium like he was the next America's top felon. Police say 34-year man Aaron Jablonski was at the Overtime Sports Bar in Clearwater, Florida around 2:30 a.m. when the karaoke system went down. Instead of just belting out Bon Jovi a cappella like a normal drunk would do, Jablonski got mad and he decided to fix this conflict and resolve it with waving a weapon around and just screaming he didn't effing care. Witnesses say now Jablonski not only brandished the weapon, but also fired it off rounds and just screaming, "I'm so fun at parties." I mean, he was show tuning this. And of course, he started belting out Sweet Caroline to a Call of Duty beat thing in under 10 seconds. I don't know. He was trying to mash it up. But Jablonski was still strapped when the cops arrived, which they eventually got him down and got him arrested. Now he is a convicted felon who was banned from owning weapons to begin with. Now his rap sheet already includes DUIs, theft, disorderly conduct, resisting cops, probation violations, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this guy is just take your pick. But he has two separate convictions for beating up police officers. Now, this man treats felony charges like karaoke tracks. He just keeps running through the catalogs. Now, Jablonski was arrested for aggravated assault and a felon in possession of weapons and is in county lockup for a $40,000 bond. Now, this judge has ordered him to stay away from the victim, from any victims at the Overtime Sports Bar, which frankly might be a blessing for anyone still hoping to drunkenly butcher journeys without catching a roundhouse kick. But courts don't say that Jablonski goes to the karaoke song, but just based on his behavior, smart money on he either loves Breaking the Law by Judas Priest or Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi. I don't know, Dave, which one do you think is his pick?
Huh? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to enjoy the last bit of my not Merlot here. I would say
you're not
if
Merlot?
I were a betting man, this guy is all over probably Air Supply, maybe a little Every Woman in the World, because you could tell he's a romantic if you look in his eyes. He's trying to scan the audience. Look at him. He's like, who, you're every woman in the world to me. What do you mean it's off? There's no getting loving tonight.
Yeah, well, he definitely took St. Patty's Day a little too far. I thought maybe he wanted to go up there and sing a sea shanty or something. Isn't that kind of like typical, like with Irish folk music?
Typical of what? You racist. How dare you say
what?
That an Irishman will go sing a
music.
Sea shanty?
It's
no! Ed Sheeran is Irish. He doesn't sing sea shanties. What kind of blatant racism is
I'm talking about Irish folk music because it's St. Patrick's Day, and obviously he took it too hard that the karaoke machine wasn't working. He wanted to belt out something. I have my money.
I don't. What man in his right mind is like, today is the day. It's St. Patty's Day. I'm gonna go do a little karaoke. I'm gonna whip out my best sea shanty.
Well, there's not really any Irish.
Can you do with a drunken sailor?
Well, I just don't know what if they don't have like Irish, like St. Patrick's Day, like music that you can sing to. Like
yes,
it has
you.
What?
The Dropkick Murphys have a lot of really ass-kicking Irish music that they could sing. There's a lot of great. How about a little Come On Eileen? That is very Irish. Very filthy, but it's very Irish-y. Because there's a lot of true ra-loo on that, So, I mean, there's, when Irish eyes are smiling. There's that ditty.
Well, But like, okay, if you went up to go sing karaoke right now, what song would you choose? Because you wouldn't be able to have a mic. There's no music. It's a cappella. Your everything equipment's not working. What would you sing?
The whole shack shimmies when everybody's moving around and around and around and around.
I'm telling you, Dave, you don't even need it. You're just a party just by yourself.
Yeah, I am the original Mr. Microphone.
You are. You totally are. You could totally pull it off, machine or not. Okay, so your next story does involve the food again. So take us to the next place in Florida.
For our next story, we're going to have to go right to the spam folder.
Oh.
Florida, believe it or not, has once again proven that reality is stranger and so much grosser than fiction. Patrick Mitchell, age 70, allegedly decided that aisle 18 at Lady Lake Sam's Club was the perfect place to whip it out and baptize 2 pallets of Spam and Vienna sausages with a fresh stream of retiree urine. Witnesses say Mitchell calmly strolled up, positioned both hands below the belt, and let it flow. Behavior that Detective Ronnie Williams diplomatically described as consistent with urination. Translation: yeah, the old dude just pissed all over canned meat aisle like he was marking his territory. The damage workers had to destroy. First of all, I don't know if we should be celebrating this man, arresting this man, bronzing his penis, because he had enough urine in him that he ruined 345 cans of Spam. Spam by a nuclear destructive blast. The can is made of impenetrable. You could shoot bullets at a can of Spam, and the meat inside will say, "Nay, you shall not pass," and they will bounce back the bullets. This guy, all he did was, and he's 70. I'm 58. I know how the stream goes at this stage. And it's not enough to do damage to the Spam cans. Wipe them off, rinse them in hot water, put them back on the shelf and mark them down, maybe. Just say that these have been marinated. That's it. Come back. After soaking 18, the whole aisle. Oh, wait, no, I got to finish this. Hold on. Again, proof that this man is some kind of superhero whose penis needs to be bronzed. Because not only did he destroy 345 units of Spam, unless they had him like out of the can and they were making like some big meat Elvis tapestry for their store. You know, I'm just throwing it out there. And 188 bulk packs of Vienna sausages. This guy's urine was so corrosive, it was like the alien blood from the Alien movie series. It destroyed 345 cans of Spam, 188 bulk packages of Vienna sausage. Now, the real crime is about to be revealed, okay? So, just to catch up, folks, man enters the store, calmly walks down the aisle, and let's go with the yellow flow. 345 units of Spam, 188 packs of Vienna sausages. Here's the crime. How much do you think the retail value? It's like Price is Right. Are you excited? Come on down. What do you think the retail value of 345 cans of Spam and 188 packs of Vienna sausages would be?
Well, they're probably about $2.50 a can.
When's the last time you went shopping?
I don't know. I don't buy Spam.
I think Spam, even the earlobes and kneecaps of baby pigs, I still think they sell for more than $3 a can.
Okay, let's say $4 a can.
Okay.
So
give me a full, what do you think? 345 cans of Spam, 188 packs of Vienna sausages. Just give me a ballpark. What do you think? Because if you'd have said that, I'd be like, you're out $1,800 in meat, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, 15,000? $
$10,584.54 for what equates to the equivalent of all the meat that nobody else wants to eat.
Right.
Right? This has got to be nickels on the dollar that they paid for these things, and then they're charging. It's $10,584 worth of product. There's no way you could convince me 345 cans of Spam are worth like $7,000. I don't
Well, now it is at a Costco when they say unit. Is it 1 unit bulk, like 3 cans per unit, or
it just says 345 units of Spam. So that's got to be each can.
oh
I don't think
God.
345 pallets. Nobody's got that urine flow. I don't care how young you are and what college you're out there being hazed in. The best part about this is, right? After soaking aisle 18, Mitchell casually wandered into the snack section, plopped down on the patio furniture like nothing happened, then checked out at register 2 with his membership card, because apparently, even after turning Sam's Club into his personal urinal, he still needed that family-sized tub of cheese balls. Naturally, detectives tracked down the man through his Sam's Club membership portal because, yes, when you're a 70-year-old man peeing on Spam, you're still fiscally responsible enough to renew your annual membership. A witness
Right.
photo and his driver's ID sealed the deal and his fate. Mitchell was arrested for disorderly conduct, felony criminal mischief, and he's out $3,000 in bond, cooling his wrinkled hot dog in the Villages, aka Florida's geriatric Vegas, where the motto is Florida's friendliest hometown, but maybe it should be don't touch the canned meat. This man once sold his Long Island home for $620,000, only to end up infamous for giving Spam its first golden glaze. Hormel's marketing department is definitely not putting this one on the label. Moral of the story, next time you shop at Sam's Club, maybe skip aisle 18, or at least bring a nice pair of rubber gloves. Back to you.
Gross. Oh, gross. And you know what? It's funny because, like, we have the Spam factory, Hormel, is in Austin, Minnesota, and they actually have a Spam museum you can go visit, which I have to take you to, honey. You need to go see this. But of all places, you know where the
don't make
largest...
me go get my giant wiener out of the refrigerator again and come in there and slap you in the face with it, because I will.
I'm going to throw a can of Spam at you.
I'm not going to the Spam museum. No, thank you.
Okay.
Well, there are some things, it's like they say don't meet your heroes. Like, I'll go to the Jameson distillery and watch Jameson be made, right? I'll go to the Glenlivet distillery. I'll go to the Jack Daniels distillery. I love hot dogs so much, I would never go to the Hormel plant and see how it's made, because my heart couldn't take it. And before anybody starts saying, but Dave, you love McRibs, do you know what's in a McRib? I don't care, because it just brings me joy and happiness. Stop ruining my life, people. But I'm not going to the Spam museum. No.
They have shirts.
I'm swiping right.
No. No, but what? Okay, out of the whole world,
just swipe right on this.
No, what state consumes the most amount of Spam? Do you know?
The elderly state, I would guess.
What's you would think Florida?
Old people eat Spam. Nobody else in their right mind would.
No,
but I grew up in the Depression, and we'd eat leather off the bottom of our shoes, and we liked it. We loved it. They would eat Spam.
The state that consumes...
Nobody I know besides you eats Spam.
I don't eat Spam. It's not. Gross.
You love to eat Spam. You love Spam.
I do not like it. Although it is good mixed in with other recipes.
I need a good divorce attorney. This woman's insane.
But
she's all about wanting me to go to the Spam museum. Now she's like, I don't even like Spam.
Shut up.
She's just trying to drag her elderly old man husband to a museum he doesn't want to go to.
I'll make you a Spam steak, a little butter, some garlic. Yum.
What? No, see, for someone who doesn't like it, you sure know how to prepare it.
Well, yeah, you got to make it taste good somehow. But anyway,
this guy tried. He pissed all over it. It had to make it taste better. It gave it real flavor. It was a heavy brew. It was like
you would never survive The Walking Dead. I mean, come on. They find cans of Vienna sausage that are like 20 years old and they still eat it.
Vienna sausage?
via
you
the
been hitting them real low
sausage.
while I'm reading my stories? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. No, but I was going to say the state that consumes the most amount of spam is Hawaii. Hawaii is the spam capital of the world, of all places.
I got nothing for you. Sorry, Hawaii.
All right. Well, all right. We got one story up next before the break. Now, this one, I would have to say, this one has to be the dumbest, idiotic criminal I've ever have read a story on, because I don't know, but this on August 11th of this year, some people deliver the mail, some people deliver some drama, and then there's 31-year-old Mary Ann. Now, this is her last name, Meg Dammit. That is her last name.
Meg Dammit.
I even looked up on how to pronounce it because I wasn't sure, but it is pronounced Meg Dammit. So apparently thought that the USPS stood for unbelievably spoiled postal spending. Now, Meg Dammit pleaded guilty in California today on a 3-year spree of stealing credit cards, debit cards, and checks from mail and using them to bankroll a lifestyle most people only dream about on Instagram. Now, her daily deliveries it just covered trips to Aruba, Puerto Rico, Hawaii, Los Cabos, all these fantastic places. My God, she's been all over on everybody else's dime. And she even posted photos under the handle your fucking FAWKEN mom.
Your
Flexing cash.
mom.
Yeah, I
Meg
can't
Dammit,
say
she's
it.
clever.
I can't say it without it making it sound like the F word, not with my Minnesota mouth. Flexing cash stacks, Hermes bags, Dior, Louis Vuitton bags. She even bought a Tesla Cybertruck, and then a diamond encrusted Rolex.
Whoa. What envelopes is she opening? Like bank envelopes?
I don't know.
At what point does she get enough money from people's mail to be able to buy all these things? First of all, who uses the mail? Have they not heard of Venmo and Cash App and Zelle? Oh my!
I don't know, because I'm like, grandma would send me a $25 check. I can't imagine it going towards a Tesla Cybertruck. That's got to be a lot of grandma's checks to cover a Cybertruck.
Well, if you are in Florida and they're mailing it out, you do have a good chance that there are a bunch of grandparents sending out $5 and $10 checks.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that's a lot of money.
Right? Well, let's see if it says it here in the story. She had accomplices. Okay. So there was like a ring of people doing this. And they had nicknames like straight out of a bad action movie like Ghana and One Punch, who helped Meg Dammit turn her stolen plastic into paradise.
Did you just say names like out of an action adventure like Donna?
No, bad action movie.
Okay, but either way, what
Ghana.
What action movies ever had Donna?
Not
Rambo.
Ghana.
Oh, Ghana.
G-H-A, yeah, Ghana.
Uh-huh.
We all know Ghana.
Ghana, yeah.
And
there's a cream that'll clear that up.
Right, I know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can kind of get a little itchy. Well, they helped Meg Dammit turn stolen plastics into paradise. Now, Postal Service investigators finally caught them after more than 100 credit cards disappeared from her route. They planted a camera in her postal vehicle, and sure enough, Marianne was caught red-handed sorting through mail like it was her own personal shopping catalog. Now, when agents raided her apartment in December of 2024, they discovered 133 credit cards and debit cards, 16 U.S. Treasury checks, 18 stolen gift cards, and then they have surveillance footage showing them confidentially buying Apple products at home and things like at Home Depot that were like high price items. Now she has dual citizenship, both here in the U.S. and Philippines, and she's being held in a federal detention center in Los Angeles, awaiting sentencing next month. Now the charges arise of a maximum of 30 years. But let's be honest, she's already got her 30-year dream vacation just with a side of federal custody. So moral of the story of this one is, if you're going to steal the mail, make sure its funds are worth bragging about on Instagram. Otherwise, you're just delivering yourself to the feds. Like, how stupid are you to post on social media stacks of cash? And that is not smart.
No. Well, I don't know if you figured this out about the criminals we're discussing tonight. They're not part of the brain trust. These are not
Right.
people that are figuring out how to cure cancer or get to the moon safely. They're not even figuring out how to get gum off the carpet. They're just burning it with a lighter. That's the kind of mentality of the people we're dealing with here.
I know, but it's just, and it's scary to know that the postal workers are doing this. And on top of not only having felony charges of stealing funds and fraud, but then it's on top of that, you get the federal crimes of opening other people's mail. So it's like felony crime on top of felony crime, and all for what? Just to go on a couple of free trips?
I hope they tie her to a post and throw cheese at her face.
Yes, let's throw a bunch of cheese. Okay, well, we do have to take a quick break, but when we come back, we got that Powerball winner that decided to not live a life of luxury, instead of live a life of crime post becoming rich. So stay tuned right here after the break.
Have you ever felt like something or someone was trying to tell you something? That inner nudge, that quiet whisper from the universe, with intuition sharpened by years of spiritual connection and a deep-rooted gift. Winnie Schrader delivers readings that are compassionate, insightful, and shockingly accurate. Whether you're facing a crossroads healing from heartache, or just curious what the cards reveal, Winnie creates a safe, sacred space to explore your journey. This isn't fortune cookie fluff. This is honest, intuitive guidance from someone who's helped hundreds find clarity, closure, and confidence. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Book your session now at lovelotustarot.com and take control of your journey. That's lovelotustarot.com. Winnie's sessions are personal, powerful, and often life-changing. That's lovelotustarot.com.
Yes, one thing I love doing when it comes to doing tarot readings, I record my video sessions and I send you guys a link so that way you can download it and kind of keep a tarot journal so that way you can follow your tarot journey. A lot of people, when they do multiple sessions, are like, I can't remember what we talked about on the first one. Well, then they can kind of go back and see how their life has progressed since the start of working with me at Love and Lotus Tarot. So if you guys want to book a reading with me, just visit lovelotustarot.com. I'd be happy to do a reading for you. And I love the connections that I'm making with you guys. So please reach out. Okay. All right.
Wait a minute. I gotta make a mention because I've just started my own side business where you can watch me do your tarot readings with my feet. I call it Toro. And we will see what the feet pick up for you, and maybe I could be giving you the answers to the world's most important questions, all while you get to look at my hairy toed knuckles.
That's genius. Toro.
Yeah. Hey, I do want to mention though really quickly, this Friday I have a brand new TV series that debuts on streambeacontv.com. You can get the Beacon TV app on any of your smart devices. And Stream Beacon TV is your new home for paranormal, true crime, that's right, and horror. And our brand new series is Shane Pittman, me, Cindy Kaza, all from the Holzer Files, Ghosts of Devil's Perch, 28 Days Haunted. We're back together as a team. We're investigating a whole new set of paranormal mysteries. That show airs this Friday and releases a new episode every Friday with our season finale airing on Halloween night. I hope that you guys will check it out. Paranormal Mysteries on Stream Beacon TV. That's coming out soon.
Yes, and I'll have a link for that in today's description. So that way you guys can sign up for the Stream Beacon TV, get the service, and yeah, Paranormal Mysteries. I'm so stoked for this. I'm glad that you guys finally got back together, having this kind of Holzer Files reunion. But you guys work so well together. So I'm glad that it's this continuation of how you guys do paranormal investigating and how well the different aspects that you guys bring to the table. So I think it's pretty cool and interesting, and I'm excited for it. So, but yeah, I'll have a link for that in today's show notes for you guys to find it easy, and let us know what you think once you watch it. I want to know so does Dave. Let us know what you think. You can email Dave at dave@paranormal60.com, or you can email me at mysteriesmayhemandmerlot@gmail.com. I'm excited. I'm so excited for you. I'm proud of you too, honey. I really am.
We'll see how it goes. I hope people enjoy it as much. It's different than the Holzer Files, but it's got enough of that familiarity and our team back together. So I hope people will enjoy it and give us a shot. 6 episodes. We start with an interesting 2-parter. We start at Ashmore Estates in Illinois, and then follow up at the R Theater. It's owned by the same man, and the story is wild. Then we're off to the Pauley Jail in Alabama. That's the site where Shane actually had his first professional paranormal encounter. Then we are off to America's most haunted house in Savannah, Georgia. It's the Sorrel Weed House. Our final 2 episodes, the hospital on College Hill in West Virginia. And then we head off to Tennessee to the Ura Shrine. And we have got a little bit of ghosts. We've got a little multi-dimensional aliens, possibly. We've got some witchcraft. That's right. So it's going to be a full episode full of a lot of amazing stuff. I hope everybody will check it out.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. I'm excited for it. And I love how the true crime always starts off. I mean, paranormal always starts off with like true crime. And, we dealt with that with the Holzer Files. A lot of the true crime aspects of it I really loved. And I love how you guys do that. It's like watching Cold Case with a paranormal twist. It's really cool. So I hope you guys check it out and enjoy it. So the story up next, we do have a video with this, and this video I have.
You want me to tell the story first, or do you want to go right to the video?
We'll watch the video after, but I'm just going to say this cop, whoever it needs to be a linebacker, and that's all I'm going to say. All right, start off with the guy, the Powerball winner.
All right. So this is fascinating, right? This took place this past April 26th. James Shannon Farthing of Georgetown, Kentucky, became the state's biggest Powerball winner, striking it rich with $167.3 million jackpot. He'd bought the $2 ticket, and 2 days later thanked his lucky stars. His mother, Linda Grizzle, stood by his side, and they collected what would be one of the most dramatic windfalls in Kentucky lottery history. But the high life was short-lived. Just days after celebrating, Farthing was in a Florida jail. On April 30th, while staying at the Tradewinds Resort in St. Pete Beach, he allegedly punched another guest during an argument at the hotel. When a law enforcement officer intervened, Farthing is accused of kicking the officer in the face. Fatal blow. Finish him. According to police, he then attempted to flee, resisted arrest, and was booked on multiple charges, including felony battery on a law enforcement officer, misdemeanor battery, resisting arrest, and a parole violation for leaving Kentucky without notifying his parole officer. His girlfriend, Jacqueline Fightmaster. Yeah. Did you hear that? I mean, he's with the right woman. This guy loves to fight. And his girlfriend's name is Jacqueline Fightmaster. This can't be true. This is insane.
It is.
She was also involved. I know it's hard to believe with that name. Authorities alleged she was heavily intoxicated and made a disturbance during the same incident. She was charged with disorderly conduct. Now, Farthing's background is far from clean. He was a lengthy criminal record spanning almost 3 decades with convictions in multiple Kentucky counties for offenses ranging from assault and drug crimes to bribery, trafficking, contraband. He has reportedly been incarcerated at least 25 different correctional institutions. His history includes parole revocations, violations of condition of release, institutional disciplinary issues, drug use, attempting to smuggle drugs, and other infractions while in custody. Despite his past, Farthing spoke publicly of hopes to turn a page with his lottery winnings. He said the prize money would help his mother with debt and expressed desire to do right by her after years of making bad decisions. As for the legal status, Farthing has pled not guilty to the Florida charges and is scheduled for an arraignment on July 14th. He was released on bond in that case. Meanwhile, his status with Kentucky parole remains under scrutiny because one of the charges, a parole violation, is connected directly to his leaving the state without notifying his parole officer. This is why I don't believe in karma. Because this guy has been in 25 institutional places for crimes, right?
Yeah.
Crimes. I didn't even know there were that many letters. And he wins $167 million. I've led a pretty good life. I've never hit anybody in the face with a bologna sandwich. I've never smacked a woman between the eyes with my wiener, the Nathan's hot dog wieners that I was talking about. I have never done the things that this guy's done, and I've never won $167 million. You know how much I've won? I was excited once on a penny slot when I won $38.12. That's it. That's my biggest ka-ching on something like that.
Pennies.
Yeah, I got nothing. So karma, if you're listening, come on.
Trust me. Trust me. This guy got his karma. Watch this.
Against the wall. Go out. Sorry, man. Save your sorries for later. Get on the ground. He's 12 stepping up. I just got kicked. Calm down. Put your hands behind your back right now. Put your hands behind your back and get against the wall.
You see the cop come out of nowhere and take him out?
Yeah, but the guy just kept going. He got electrocuted, knocked on his butt, and he's still standing there. I got $167 million. I'll buy my way out of prison.
Right. I'm just like, oh my
God. There's no karma. There's no karma in this world, folks. Karma is a joke. Karma is a chameleon. Karma is a song, and that's it. There is no karma. I've given up on the fact that karma might be a thing.
Well, I know this couple, I don't know about karma with this couple because we know that every person, probably millennial on under when it comes to Gen Xers and everything else, has a battle over the thermostat. But on April 29th of this year, nothing says death do us part quite like trying to body check your 85-year-old wife because she dared touch the sacred thermostat. Now, enter Charles Ingram, 87, who was arrested in St. Petersburg after turning marital bliss into a WrestleMania match at an assisted living facility. According to the cops, the showdown started bright and early 7 a.m., which tracks since the prime time for retirees to start fighting over whether the house feels like a sauna or a meat locker. Miss Ingram apparently tried to lower the air conditioning because in Florida in April is approximately the same temperature as Satan's. Satan's in other regions. Okay, that's what Charles allegedly shoved her way from the thermostat into the wall like she was trying to switch the TV from Matlock to Netflix. Police say Charles admitted to being the aggressor, but added that she pushed him back, proving even after decades of marriage, old people still play the "no, you started it" game like a couple of fifth graders. Now, here's the kicker, though. This isn't Charles' first rodeo. His rap sheet dates back to 40 years with prior battery convictions and even a 1985 welfare fraud charge. In other words, this man has been out here committing crimes since Reagan was rocking the jelly beans. Ingram was charged with felony domestic battery, and the judge was likely to order him to stay away from his wife. and the thermostat they had been fighting over since the disco was popular. The couple bought the house in 1971, which means they've had 54 years of thermostat wars, which honestly, the fact that they've made it this long without somebody catching a felony over the AC is a miracle. Now, moral of the story, in Florida, love isn't measured in years. It's measured in how many times you survive being assaulted over climate control. Now, we've all been there. I've witnessed it myself, the arguments over the thermostat. Did you grow up in a house where you didn't dare touch the thermostat?
Yeah, my dad kept it a crispy. It was freezing in our house in the winter. I think it made it up to like 60, 61 at the top. And then in the summer, no air conditioning. We had no air conditioning in this house. I'm in my father's house. My father passed away on the 4th of July, so I've been splitting time between here and Minnesota as I'm dealing with stuff. A couple of window units eventually is what it got to be, but the rest of the house, no air conditioning. But we used to have one of those old ones that looked like a dial. You'd spin it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one day my parents were gone, and I decided I was going to play safecracker. So I put my head against the wall and I started spinning the dial and pretending that, and then I did like in the movies, and I clicked it and then spun it. And I'm like, yeah. And I pretend to open it up and stole my stuff. And then my buddy called and I left the house to go play. Well, that was about 10 or 11 in the morning. My parents didn't get home until 5 or 6 that night. And, I'd set it to a balmy about 98 degrees in the house. So when my dad walked in, just hit a wall of moist, thick, hot air and was like, no. That's why I walk bow-legged to this day. I walk like a penguin because he smacked my ass so hard that it went concave. And the only way to walk properly is with my feet splayed out like a duck.
Oh, because you touched the thermostat.
Yeah. Look, Mark Lanou knows the gray round thermostat. Yeah. And it was like a little. It was like a.
Ours was a gold color.
Got in 90 degrees in the house. My dad. I don't know if my dad was ever more mad at me, and I've done some really dumb things, but I think touching the heat was enough for him.
Oh my God. My grandma and my dad used to just yell at each other because of the thermostat. Because my parents' bedroom was up in the loft area. So it was higher up. And so it'd get hot up there. But it would get cold downstairs. So my grandma would always turn the AC, turn it so it's not as cold in the house. And it would get boiling upstairs. And it was always like vice versa in the wintertime. And then there was days where we'd have to have the windows open, but the one window with the fan on the other end, well, then if you went to the bathroom and had the window open, that wasn't pleasant. So there was never any happy medium when it came to our house and thermostats and temperature control.
Welcome to Too Much Information with Winnie Schrader.
That is right. Right.
Let's jump in. We got a couple stories left to go, and I've got to go to bed because I'm old. So Florida man pleads guilty to burglaries after an inflatable orgy ring deflates. Oh, yeah. Look at this guy. When you look in his eyes, it's romance. You can see this guy knows a thing or two about pleasing somebody. Florida never disappoints. And Christopher Monin, oh my God, are you serious with these names?
I'm telling you, it's the truth.
Yeah, Christopher Monin, 41, may have just raised the bar by turning pool floats into his own personal Pornhub premium. The man pleaded guilty to a burglary spree that netted him dozens of inflatable sex partners because apparently Tinder wasn't working out. Police first stopped Monin at 1:30 a.m. after spotting him biking around with a trash bag full of limp floats. Looking like the saddest balloon vendor in history. Authorities had long suspected a local float phantom since Palm Bay had been plagued. Yes, that's the word in the police report. By break-ins where only pool inflatables were stolen. No jewelry, no cash, just rubber ducks and inflatable bacon strips. When cops raided his stash house directly across the street from his home, because stealth is not his kink, they found 75 different inflatable floats. And we're talking a full sex toy aisle of nonsense. A duck, a lobster, French fries, pizza, a turtle, a whale, a banana, an elephant, a watermelon, even a Shaquille O'Neal branded inflatable lounger.
What?
Basically, this guy was running an orgy with SeaWorld, the county fair, and a 7-Eleven snack aisle, basically. Here's where it gets sticky. Monin admitted to police that he wasn't just hoarding floats. No, that would be weird. He was sexually gratifying himself with the floats and does this instead of raping women. Okay, there's a certain logic to this, right? That you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I pressed charges. He can keep the flamingo, right? Because if this guy's figured out his quirk and this compulsion, and he has instead turned it to a shack inflatable, no harm, no foul, in my mind. I mean, it is crazy that this is going on, but this isn't the only story. I mean, we've heard insane stories over the last 20 years of doing true crime of people pleasuring themselves in the toy aisle with stuffed animals and other weird things and squeaky floats in the pool, whatever. I mean, again, thank God he found a way to temper his weird and focus on inflatable deals. Listen, the world is filled with weird stuff. I'm not here to judge anybody in their sexual proclivity. And if you look at an inflatable flamingo and think, I'm hitting that tonight, God love you. And if I come home and my house has not been disturbed, my jewelry, my money, my vehicles have not been disturbed, but the $3.99 float I got from Five Below is missing, what jackass is calling the police on that to begin with?
I don't know. I think they.
I mean, I guess it's like your Ring camera's like, oh, somebody's in my backyard. That's a little unsettling. I'll give you that. But like, if they're just, in my mind, I'd be thinking, oh, maybe this guy just needs a friend. I know it's hard looking at him. Take a look at that picture again. You look at this guy and you got to think, this guy's the life of every party he's ever been to. Look at him. Look at him. Those cold, dead shark eyes.
I know, right?
Yeah. It's hard to believe that Christopher Monin had to resort to inflatables. But again, I'm just saying, thank God he focused his attention on that. So as a judge, my question would be, and I haven't gotten to that part of the story, how hard do you throw the book at a guy who you know is a criminal, is a sexual deviant, but has found a way? It's like a vampire drinking animal blood instead of humans, right? Or stealing blood from a blood bank to sip because they need it. This guy sated his weird ass needs in the most innocuous way ever. It's not like he was doing it in their backyard and left it floating out there and cooking in the sun. That would be really right? It's kind of like, what, again, kudos to the guy for knowing his weakness and adjusting. So I really do. I know it sounds stupid or like I'm mocking.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
No, I'm giving him credit because compulsion is a weird thing, right? I mean, there's this guy, the reluctant serial killer. Going off topic real quickly. This guy was a great guy. Everybody loved him. He got a head injury and it released a demon literally in his brain. He became extremely violent and would murder, and he couldn't control it. And to the smallest degree, like Vicodin, the painkiller, and Flexeril, and you know this firsthand, they make me really crabby. So it'll help get rid of the pain in my neck, but I'm a complete dick for the next 2 days. And like, you and the kids all avoid me. Not that I'm going to beat you or throw you out a window or anything, but I'm just like, I'm a grumpy Gus. So, you know, and I that's the same thing. I'm like, listen, I've got to the point, my head hurts so bad, my ankle hurts so bad, I have to take a painkiller, avoid me. And then everybody just leaves daddy alone for a couple of days, and then, you know, things even out.
I just throw bologna sandwiches at you.
Yeah, I give a lot of respect to a person who has that dark a passenger and he figured out a way to deal with it. And this is no joke. I would be happy to donate to send this guy like 20 new floats just to keep him off the streets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, and that's the thing. You can't go around stealing other people's property either. So if you have this urge, you need to find a legitimate way to take care of it. I mean, granted, I mean, it's only a $4 pool floaty, but
yeah, there may be more to it. He may have, you know, I don't know. it could be one of those things where he sees you and he wants a float from your house because he's equating you with the toy. It could be something along those lines.
Oh, I didn't think of it that
Yeah.
way.
And what I never understood about listen, the inflatable arm floats, that makes sense to me. It's like a big loving cup, just looking for love. I don't understand looking at a flamingo. I mean, this guy must be hung like Paul Bunyan if he's looking at like an inflatable ring and he's like, I could do that. But that's me. Here's where it gets sticky. Monin admitted to police that he wasn't just hoarding floats. He was gratifying himself to keep himself from doing more harm to women, which is both horrifying and weirdly the world's most screwed up version of harm reduction. It's like saying, don't thank me yet. I'm just out here raw dogging an inflatable bacon strip for your safety, man. Right? Despite felony convictions that could have landed him in prison for years, the court gave Monin a plea deal because he requires specialized treatment for a mental disorder. Translation: therapy that probably involves keeping him at least 500 yards away from the nearest pool supply aisle at Walmart. Now, the judge sentenced him to 2 years of house arrest and 8 years probation. He also owes $840 in fines, aka the cost of like 2 high-quality blow-up dolls that could have prevented this entire saga. But the kicker, the man doesn't even own a pool. He was just collecting those for the horizontal mambo, the posturpedic polka. Somewhere in Palm Bay, people are still explaining to their insurance companies why their watermelon float disappeared in the night, only to learn it was used in a crime that looked like 50 Shades of Rubber Duck. Thank you. I'm Dave Schrader, and that's all news to me.
That I can't look at a pool floaty and think, but I'm not a guy.
You haven't seen the Shack one. You haven't seen the Shack one. It is so alluring.
Is it anatomically correct in size?
No. I live in Minnesota. When do I ever see a pool, let alone an inflatable pool toy?
I don't know. I'm asking for a friend.
I'm your only friend. Who are you asking for?
I don't know.
All right, get to it. We got a couple more stories.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Up next. Well, this gives a whole new meaning to Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train song. Because this one, well, of course, this happened in Key West, but 4th of July this year, a fresh Florida man saga this Independence Day starring 57-year-old Jonathan Patrick Winslow, who celebrated his birthday by allegedly stealing a tourist train, scooping up random passengers, and proving once again that meth is the drug equivalent of pressing the chaos mode in real life. Now, police say Winslow waltzed up to the coach tour train depot on July 4th and told an employee he used to work there. Translation: don't worry, I'm totally qualified to operate this $200,000 slow-moving nightmare on wheels. The staffer, perhaps too polite or too Florida to argue, led him near the controls. Moments later, Winslow was on a choo-chooing through downtown Key West like he was auditioning for Fast and the Furious retirement home drift. Now, because it wasn't enough to just steal the damn train, Winslow apparently picked up 2 passengers. Imagine climbing aboard what you think is a guided historical tour and instead finding yourself in a meth-powered birthday rave on rails. At least Uber gives you an option to cancel. Now, meanwhile, back at the depot, his own Kia was found parked with the engine running, radio blasting like he was multitasking between Grand Theft Auto and a midlife crisis. Now, authorities tracked the conch train by GPS and eventually found Winslow at the southernmost point buoy. Because of the course, the man wanted the most Instagrammable arrest photo possible. Now, during the bust, cops found a glass pipe and meth residue tucked on him inside his pocket. Now, Winslow tried the old "it's just a weed pipe" defense, which, considering weed is legal in half the country, and meth is very much not. It is like telling your wife, relax, honey. She's not a mistress. She's just a tax consultant in lingerie. Now, Winslow now faces charges of burglary, Grand Theft Auto, yes, for the tourist trolley. I don't know if that would be Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft
it's an automobile. It's it's mobile.
Yeah, but I would think it'd have another name. And possession of drug paraphernalia, of course. He is sitting in a Monroe County jail, hopefully without access to anything on wheels, or celebrating birthday cake with a file baked inside of it, because obviously he probably would find a way to use that. But yeah, he decided to take this crazy train on a tour of terror. But these poor people getting on the train, can you imagine? He get on the train and realized, like, oh, I'm on a hijacked train. This isn't fun. And he's just like going crazy. Although I wonder if he was like yelling out the window. Do you think he was tooting the horn? I would have been tooting the horn.
It's at this point, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you would have to toot the horn.
Oh, I toot my horn as often as I can.
Okay. All right. Well, now you got a story that is right up your alley. I had to give
Wait
you
a minute. Hold on. Don't be putting that in my alley. I am fascinated by weird stories. I don't know that this is in my alley. If you came into my alley, this would not be the kind of thing I'd want to see there.
Well, no, but you could encounter this doing your job. Okay.
Florida never fails to amuse and mystify us, folks. And the story this will say it all. You can tell I was kind of one-minded, maybe two-minded tonight, as most of it was food related and now strange sexual oddities. But let us begin. This time we're going to look at 38-year-old Joseph Luke Brown and 46-year-old Stephanie K. Wegman, who were caught by cops having sex on top of an actual grave in the historic Wild Cow Prairie Cemetery. Yes, grave number 43 became the site of a meth-fueled necro-knockin' boots session, because nothing says romance like, baby, let's defile history while great-great-grandpa watches. Troopers spotted the couple's white Nissan parked outside the locked cemetery, windows down, no one around. Inside, hard to believe, meth. In Stephanie's purse, a chemical cocktail of unmarked Xanax and oxycodone. On the grave, Florida's answer to Romeo and Juliet, if Shakespeare had been addicted to truck stop crank. Stephanie, who is married, by the way, but definitely not to her graveside Casanova, was arrested on multiple drug charges and tossed in jail with no bond. Joseph, however, couldn't even make it through his graveyard quickie without needing a hospital trip for a pre-existing leg injury. That's right. Homie went from the bone zone to ER triage in under an hour. A warrant will be sought out for him later, presumably once his leg and dignity heal. One of those will never heal. Of course, this wasn't their first run-in with the law, because it never is. Stephanie's rap sheet includes meth, fentanyl, drug paraphernalia. Joseph, just a casual list of burglary, larceny, battery, domestic violence, DUIs, meth, reckless driving, you name it. 2019, a judge straight up called him a habitual felony offender, which is Florida's way of saying this dude has his own punch card for prison time. The cemetery itself, established in 1850, listed on the National Register of Historic Places, has seen a lot, but probably never expected its biggest historical moment would be a tweaked out couple dry humping its headstones. Moral of the story, Florida cemeteries don't need ghost tours. They've got live action horror shows starring meth head grave bobbers. But Your Honor, I would like to come forward as defense attorney Dave Schrader, attorney at law. I think what you are doing is infringing upon my client's religious provocation, because they believe that reincarnation exists, and in order for their child to get the soul that it needs, they must consummate their love upon a grave. And who you, judge, to deny such logic when the good Lord himself has told us of the Holy Spirit? So may I just say that this couple was doing nothing more than what the Lord told them. Go forth, be fruitful, and multiply. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Oh, do you? Now, Now, what would you do if you went into a cemetery and you came across that? I mean,
I would run to the quickest pool and grab an inflatable and join them. Because who's not up for a good time? Only, how weird would it be if they're like all methed out doing it, and then they just keep hearing, and they turn around, and I'm like there with a inflatable penguin or something, just giving them the eyebrows, right? Oh, suddenly I'm the weirdo. Suddenly
No.
I'm the weirdo. Okay, whatever.
honey, you gotta understand my brain. I get visuals, and I'm picturing you with a pool floating.
We do have some audio. I don't know if you've heard it, but we have some audio of the couple in the middle of their groan on the
We
gravesite.
do?
Here it is. Here's the groan. Did you hear that?
It sounded like somebody passed gas.
All right, it's
Play it
my
again.
emergency Bigfoot call, but I figured a moan would sound just as good. So emergency Bigfoot call. Yeah, in case you want to throw the cops off. That's it. That's what you do, is always carry one of these around. So that way when they're like, what are you doing having sex on a gravestone? You're like, stop it. The Bigfoot behind you made us. And then you make the growl.
I think the cops will totally fall for it.
It's just an idea. I'm not I'm an idea guy is what I am.
You are. And that's one of the things I love about you. Okay. Now, this next story, our last story of the night, this one is kind of an update. But if you haven't seen the Tinder Swindler on Netflix, that documentary, right now it seems like there's a big influx of all these con artist type documentaries coming out, and one of this was the Tinder Swindler, but it looks like he got caught again. So it looks like that con man's credit finally got declined. Now, Shimon Hayut, better known as Simon Levev, that's what he was known as in the Tinder Swindler. He made these women believe that he was a diamond heir, when in reality he was more of a cubic zirconia with a Wi-Fi signal. But he has been arrested in the country of Georgia on an Interpol warrant. Now, Levev, 35, became infamous after the Netflix documentary exposed how he lured women in on Tinder, flexed private jets, champagne. Then I've never been on Tinder, so I don't know what Twitter, Tinder, twaddler. I don't know.
I'm going to buy her dinner before I twaddle her.
They convinced them to hand over credit cards to bankroll his high roller cosplay. Now, he scammed them out of hundreds of thousands of dollars before ghosting harder than a bad Hinge date. But this smooth talking days are now over, because it finally came to an end, because Georgian police cuffed him at the Tbilisi airport, putting a pause on the world touring of scamming, scheming, and sliding into women's DMs with diamond emojis. Authorities say he was using a fake passport because, of course, he was nothing screams romance like a guy who introduces himself with, "Hi, I'm wanted by Interpol." Yeah, that's not a good Tinder profile description, I wouldn't think.
See,
Levev,
you can't be open in these kind of relationships. People say, I want open, I want honest, and then you tell them, hey, I'm going to put on there that I'm a Tinder swindler, and everybody's like, don't do that. That's a bad idea.
you were kind of showing your cards right up front, I guess.
It's being upfront. It's what relationships are based on.
Well, Levev previously served time in Finland and did a very brief stint in Israel before strolling back into the world like a guy who thought Netflix documentary was just free publicity. Now, this time, though, his extradition could send him somewhere less cushy than a private yacht. Think prison food that makes airplane peanuts look gourmet. Now, I bring this up because the woman seen in the picture here, scorned in the documentary, The Tinder Swindler, Cecile Felhoy, she's a Swedish citizen, now has a new show on Netflix called Love Con Revenge, where she helps other women like herself get justice from these con men. But now Levev sits in a Georgian jail where he's only swiping left or right. He'll be doing this, deciding what bunkmate to trust or what commissary snacks to choose from. So No more
Stay away from the
women.
spam. Stay away from the spam.
Yeah. So yeah, they think he got busted again scamming women. It's just he's never going to learn. But yeah, after the Tinder Swindler, he spent some jail time, got out of jail, and then came as one of those business people that you buy a program to find what success in business is. So he was selling that. I'm like, how is he a successful businessman? What does he have to sell the whole time? His success is scheming women out of money. That's not a business model.
Well, it was for him for a long time.
Yeah, well, now Interpol's got him, so he's got the last laugh and the last swipe on that credit card because he's probably going to do some hard jail time. At least I hope, because I can't imagine being catfish like that. But there's a lot of influx of catfishing, just an unknown number about how the mom catfished her own daughter. But a lot of cons and scheming and catfishing going on, and all these documentaries are coming out. So I'll probably be covering that a lot on the show. But this Friday, we have a new show coming out. Dave, you want to tell us again what's coming out this Friday?
This Friday, Stream Beacon TV, not to be confused with Slam Bacon TV, which is pure food porn, but streambeacontv.com. Go check it out. Download Beacon TV, the app for all of your smart devices. The return of Dave Schrader, Cindy Keza, Shane Pittman from the Holzer Files, Ghosts of Devil's Perch, 28 Days Haunted. We're back with a new series called Paranormal Mysteries. It's a 6-episode series. It begins this Friday and runs every Friday on Stream Beacon. A new episode will be released until the season finale, which lands on Halloween. And I hope you'll all tune in and check that out and be a part of the program with us. And let me know what you think of it, Dave at paranormal60.com. And then remember, you can always watch me live Monday nights. And tomorrow night, I'm meeting with Cindy and Shane on my show, Paranormal 60. We're going to be talking about some of our favorite moments on the new series and the old series that we've worked on, and just have a good time. So I hope you'll tune in. That's tomorrow night right here on YouTube, 9 to 10 p.m. Central. That's 10 to 11 Eastern. That is 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific, 8 to 9 p.m. Mountain Time. And I hope you'll check it out because it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'll be back this Wednesday with Greg and Chachi. We've got some news and some discussions to have on the Paranormal 60. So a lot going on. Keep tuned. Check out Paranormal 60. Thanks for having me on, Winnie.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, and I'll have a link for all that in today's description as well, so you guys can find it easy. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you guys all for joining me again, and I will hope to see you guys all next week.
Thank you for joining me for another episode